Well, hello everyone and welcome. Today I am sitting on a couch and I've got my esteemed colleague here, Rendan. Say hello. Hey everyone, how's it going? Rendan. We haven't formally met yet, so hey. And me and Rendan are going to have a little conversation about a film that's been out for about 7 months now. And that's called 20th Century Women.
When you were born, I told you life was very big and unknown. There were animals and cities and music. You'd fall in love, have passions, have meaning. But now it's 1979 and nothing means anything. And I know you less every day.
This movie, I will say, this movie was one that I had literally no interest in seeing. When I saw the trailers, it made it look like this kind of super ultra progressive lifestyle movie where the oh frick, the whole oh frick, man, that I'm good. And so I really stayed away from it because I hate movies that do that. I hate movies that try to be this super progressive and politically correct film that really is, that's it. There's nothing to it other than that. So I hate movies like that, so I really avoided it. But as I was surfing around Amazon, I came across it again, and it was the Amazon Prime included video, so it was for free. So I was like, yeah, I got nothing better to do, I'll watch it, why not? So I watched it, and I liked it way more than I thought I would, by a considerable margin, actually. I thought that this would be, again, nothing special. I thought it would just be kind of an obnoxious movie where filmmakers push their agenda on you for no discernible reason other than that's what they want to do. And this is actually almost the opposite. It's kind of great. It ended up being one of my favorite movies of the year. I shocked myself at how much I enjoyed it, how much I got attached to the characters, and how much I wanted to watch it again as it was over. The number one thing that this movie does right is character development, and I think character work is one of the most overlooked and underused part of movies now. Characters now don't have to be complex individuals. They are just stock characters that kind of lead you into an action-heavy movie. And so like movies like the Marvel movies or the DC movies or just any kind of big blockbuster films are like this, where we get a character who is just the strong-willed one, and then a character who is the by-the-numbers one, and the character that's the lawful one. And it's just kind of one trait to define each character. But with 20th Century Women, these are very fleshed out, real, well-rounded people, it feels like. They really feel like people, and I think this, like I said, this is one of the biggest overlooked things in Hollywood right now. Characters. Characters get you into a movie. Characters make you attached to a movie, more than action, more than comedy, more than drama ever will. And it's from characters that the drama, the comedy, and the action should come from, not from just an artificial place.
I think maybe you guys can help me with Jamie. How do you be a good man? What does that even mean nowadays?
Don't you need a man to raise a man?
No, I don't think so. I think you're what's gonna work for him.
You just feel guilty because it's just me and you.
You don't know what I'm feeling. Men always feel like they have to fix things for women where they're not doing anything. Just be there.
When I try and describe these characters to people, when I try and talk about characters to people, the one thing I tell people to look at is that character traits. Look at the characters' actual behaviors, their mannerisms, look at their personality, and then try to define them as a specific trait. And if you can't, it's not really a well-written character. And a lot of times you don't get attached to those people because you don't see them as people. And that is what 20th Century Women does best, is that each and every character in this movie of the main five feel like people. Every single one of them. The movie does a great job of slowing down and hashing out details of these characters and really going in depth on them and telling you who they are and how they feel and how they react to each other. And that is excellent. I got connected to almost every single one of them. It's these traits, it's these personalities that make this movie push forward because the characters feel like they're actually determining the story. Every action that the character makes feels like an actual thing they would do, and that is something that's very, very hard to do. It's something very difficult to write. When you're trying to write a story, a lot of times people just write the story, and they write, this is how it should go, this is all the plot points it should hit, and then it just kind of happens. But with movies like this, and I think movies in general should be like this, where characters feel like they influence where the story goes, and it becomes unpredictable, and it becomes something I was going to say transgender. It becomes something transformative, where it feels like it's more than a movie. It feels like you're watching people live lives because they actually interact with the story. And this is the thing, like I said, that is very hard to explain to people about movies, and why I love movies is characters. Characters need to have decisions that make sense in the context of the movie, and they need to be the ones to push the story forward. Big, huge movies are no longer character-driven. Things just sort of happen now, where a big action scene just starts, or a big comedic riff track thing just starts by actors improvising and bouncing off each other. Nothing feels organic anymore, and 20th Century Women sort of throws it back to a very simple time, setting it in the 80s, where nothing huge really mattered back then. It was just kind of a go with the flow. There's no cell phones, so they just kind of do their thing. So the 20th Century Woman really throws it back to a sort of simpler time, and it does a great job of using that nostalgia to play to the audience, and it also takes this very simple era and then makes that part of the movie, where the movie is just a very simple story. It just follows 5 main characters as they just live their life in the 80s, and that's about it. But this movie does actually a really great job of poking at the contradictions for these characters, where this girl that's super outgoing and says anything's on the table, everything's on the table, you can say anything you want, but then she gets really emotional about talking about cancer because she has it. And so that one word is almost off the table for her. And whenever someone says it, she gets really emotional and very closes down. Her whole personality just sort of shuts down, and she just goes into this fit of emotion. And so there's the contradiction there, where she pretends to be like the person that says anything's okay. I don't get offended by anything. You can say anything you want, but this one thing gets to her, or this other thing will get to her. So it pokes at the contradictions of these characters very well, and that's what makes them feel human. It's what makes the story feel human, where these people are people. They make mistakes. They have contradictions. They are hypocrites sometimes, and that is the very essence of humanity, and it's in this movie, ingrained in this movie, very, very well. Every single character has these shortcomings. Every single character has their own struggles, their own personal battles, and the movie does a great job of poking at their beliefs and poking at their core values almost.
They might not be who you thought or wanted. They might just be the people who show up.
And there's a lot of great stuff like that with these characters, and that is everything this movie is. That's what everything this movie wants to be. It's just a very human movie, and it is one of the best of the year. There's not much more I can say about it other than that. It's just one of my favorite movies of the year. I love it, and I think you should, if you at home haven't seen it, I think you guys should go see it. It's great. Agreed. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.